Hello, I'm Sam Kavathes with the Illinois State Bar Association, and this is Illinois Law. Our topic for this segment is, what steps do I need to take if involved in a car accident? My guest for this segment is Ron Kalish. Ron is a partner in the firm of Steinberg, Goodman, and Kalish. Ron he's been practicing for over 20 years, personal injury field and also medical negligence. Ron is also a member of the Illinois State Bar Association Tort Committee. Welcome, Ron.
Thanks for having me, Sam.
Ron, tell our guests who are involved in car accidents, what's the first few things they need to do?
Well, the first thing is you want to get the police involved so that names can be exchanged and information can be documented, as well as if you're injured, of course, you want to seek medical attention quickly.
Okay. How about after that initial steps are done, the police finish their reports and everything, what are some of the other things that people need to do next?
Sure. If there's photographs either of your car or of injuries that you've sustained, you want to take pictures of those. And be aware that sometimes insurance companies, if you were injured in the crash, may begin to call you and ask you questions. So you want to be aware of that and understand that you don't have any obligation to speak to anybody. You certainly have the right to do that or not to do that. But I recommend probably just taking a message at that point and then sort of figuring out what your next step is. But I think following up with the advice of your doctors early on in a case like that, if you're in fact injured, is important.
Now, if you have a camera, cell phones, everybody's got cell phones these days, you certainly could take some pictures of the vehicle at that time if you needed to, correct?
Right. Sometimes the cars get towed away from the scene, and before you know it, they're repaired, and it's oftentimes nice to have some pictures of what occurred if that ever becomes an issue later on.
Now, if both parties have insurance that cover these type of things, sometimes the insurance companies will call you from the other party. And is that what you're talking about, not talking to them?
Right. What the next step usually is taking care of, two things: yourself and through your medical, but also your car. And if you have collision coverage, collision insurance, that means that you can call your own insurance company, and should call your own insurance company, let them know you were involved in a crash, and ask them to fix your car.
So let them take care of your car.
Right. That's, I think, is the best advice. Then that way you're not having to deal with and talk with the other person's insurance company, who, again, is there to get information from you, which may or may not be helpful for you later.
How about medical bills? Who pays the medical bills for somebody who's injured?
Well, if you have health insurance, you want to have your bills submitted through health insurance. If you have Medicare, you want the bills to be processed through Medicare. If you have Medicaid, you want the bills to be processed through Medicaid. And if you're unfortunate and you don't have insurance, health insurance, you should check your own automobile policy, because most people have medical payment coverage of their own policy.
And that'll cover some of your bills up to that coverage limits?
It's limited. It's capped. It's sometimes only $1,000, sometimes more than that, and some people don't have it. And so that's a real tip now is get up, go look at your insurance card, and it's very inexpensive, especially if you don't have health insurance, to at least get medical payment coverage in your automobile policy.
And how about traffic court? People get tickets, the other person might get a ticket. Do you recommend people go to traffic court, or do they have to go to traffic court?
Well, if you think there's going to be a question about whose fault the crash was, and the only time traffic court is useful is if the person who you were involved in the crash with pleads guilty in court. If you don't go to traffic court, chances are that ticket's going to get dismissed and the person may or may not plead guilty. But by showing up in court, you may sort of force the person to plead guilty because they see you in court and they're ready to testify.
Just because there's no finding of guilt or anything in the traffic court has nothing to do with the civil liability other than that plea of guilty, is that right?
Right, and so, if you've got a job and you've got family responsibilities and you just can't get to court, it doesn't mean that you can't still have an injury case and have a lawsuit and win.
Now, can you settle the case yourself with the other party's insurance company if you can?
You can, and I think that's certainly the first step to take. As long as you're not giving recorded statements to the other insurance company, if they're willing to talk with you, simple steps would be to get all your medical bills and all your medical records together and send them in to the insurance company, and most importantly, you want to really wait until you're sure that you're fully recovered from the crash. The law gives you 2 years to file a claim or a lawsuit, so it's not something you want to rush into, but I think it's a good idea to try yourself.
And then if you can't settle it, obviously, you should get a lawyer, and a lawyer certainly can evaluate your claim and see if it's, what the value is, and let them help you settle it if you can't.
Look, we have more experience in seeing lots of different kinds of injuries, and may be in a better position to evaluate what the case is worth and whether you're getting a fair settlement or not. But I think if you're not sure about that, pick up the phone. Most lawyers I know aren't going to charge you to meet with them, talk with them, give you some information. So I think it's
All right. Thanks very much, Ron. We appreciate it, and thank you for watching.